Howdy folks, what's going on? Surprised to see me on a Wednesday night, right? I just checked if anybody else was live, and I didn't see anybody, but I'll keep double checking. And I needed to check some stuff on my mixer here with this new pedal and everything else, and figured why not check what's going on live. Let me just switch to my live chat here to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, so how's things? We're looking at Will Varella's in the house. How's it going, Will? Can you guys hear me? I think you should be able to hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can or not. Danny Allen, what's going on? Ben, what's going on, Ben? He says, Alex Radford says hi. Awesome. How's it going, Alex? I guess he's not in here. Ed Dana said it was starting at 3 a.m. Really? Huh. See, that's the other thing I was testing on YouTube, doing just a scheduling thing to see if it would work, and I put 10 p.m. Toronto East. I guess that would be Eastern time. I don't know why it would say 3 a.m. I don't know. That was just a scheduling glitch, maybe. I don't know. Janice, what's going on? Janice is a busy gal. She's always doing something. Bobby Clipper, go get a. That's going to get a coffee to start with. Yeah, good plan. Yes, we are live, Ed. You made it right on time. So I don't know why that notification said 3 o'clock, but I'll be sleeping at 3 in the morning for sure. I've got one more day of work tomorrow and then off to Vegas. So that's going to be fun, I hope. It's going to be hectic, but fun. And other than that, just playing some guitar. I've been trying to get that that new pedal that I got on the weekend, the Outlaw Effects Marshall pedal dialed in. I think I've got it pretty much where I like it. What you heard in the beginning there was that pedal going through my Mesa through the clean channel. And when you put that pedal on, gives you that, well, it can go quite gainy, but it gives, you can get that classic rock sound, which is what I was looking for when I bought that pedal, because the Mesa is really, on the two other channels, they're really nice and they're super rocking channels as far as gain goes, but sometimes you want a little bit less, and so that's why I'm using that channel number 1 as a complete clean channel when there's no pedal on. And then when you put that pedal on, it gives you something like that. And let me know if that sounds okay, if it's not loud enough, or I'm not sure if it's. So on my meters here, it's showing that it's going through, but I don't know how loud it's coming through on your end, because I can't monitor it and be streaming at the same time, which is kind of weird. So give me a little bit of feedback on there if you can let me know. Rick Hefner's in the house. How's it going, Rick? Levels are good, Ben? Good. Yeah, because again, the other day this whole system kind of crashed on me, so I had to rebuild the whole live streaming software and all the levels and everything else. So I've been trying to get it all leveled out. Looks like it's okay now. So that's good. Sounds great, cool, pretty loud, plenty bright. Yeah, I know for some reason, because in here, the way that I've got it all set up and it's going through, it doesn't sound that bright. Like I've got it, you know, not as bright as you would think in here, but it might be. But especially when I'm playing in a mix, I need it a little bit brighter than usual, just to kind of cut through the rest of the mix. So maybe that's why, but I listened to it the other day. I like through the Monday night show. I re-listened, and it seemed to be okay. Maybe it's bright for some people, but it's not that bad in here anyway. And the other thing I can't do right now is today I was experimenting with keeping the cab, which is a 212 cab, keeping that on, and so I'm mic'd, I'm going into my mixer, and then the aux box is going into my mixer as well, and it has its own cab simulation. So right now what you're hearing, that is just the Mesa going into the aux, and the aux into the mixer, and the mixer is going into my interface. So that's what you're hearing. But earlier today, I can't do it now because that would make the cab, it would be on in here and my wife's sleeping, and that would not be good. That would not be good. So, but today I was able to run the cab mic'd and the aux together, and then mix on my mixer the blended sounds, and it was insanely good in here. It sounded huge, and I really got into the tracking and playing today with that. So on a regular night, if I'm streaming or something, I'll test that out, and I'll run the cab and the aux together. Just right now I can't because my wife's sleeping, and that would wake everybody up at this point because the cab is live in the room, and it gets quite loud in here. But it does sound really cool with the cab, that's for sure. Hey, Zach Thong, what's going on? Scott DeFuke, and who else is in here? Oh, Thrash is in here. What's going on, Thrash? YouTube, oh, presses and adds dead end, adds a dead end, compresses, yeah. I know, there's nothing you can really do about that going out to YouTube. You're always going to get some compression. And one of the issues I have here at the house is that our internet isn't the greatest, so I have to stream at a like a low bit rate compared to some other channels out there that have like super high speed and fiber and everything else. So that doesn't help either. But it is what it is, and you know, as long we got to work with what we have. And I've listened back to my streams, and I wasn't displeased with the tone or anything. So I think I can live with that. So let me try something else here and get some more feedback from you guys, and let me know if it sounds okay with mix and all that. The way I bring my backing tracks is I just bring it from my phone into the mixer, and then see how that goes. I don't know what these songs are or anything. I just download them from iTunes. It says backing tracks, guitar backing tracks or whatever. Let's see what this sounds like here. Yeah, it sounds okay, I guess. It's like more of a happy track, I guess. So just that little piece there, to me in my headphones it sounds like the guitar is a lot lower than the track. Can you guys confirm that? Just let me know in the chat if that last little piece that I just played, if it sounded kind of well mixed, or was something a lot louder than the other. In my headphones it sounds like the track is louder than the guitar, but it could be just my mix in my headphones, which is what I'm trying to figure out. The sleeping wife, I understand completely, Rick says. Yeah. She's really good though. She lets me do all this stuff and no complaints at all, but you know, if she's sleeping, I'm not gonna blast the speakers in here, that's for sure. they announced the bands for Cosmo today. Sloan, Finger 11, Chilliwack is playing. That was kind of weird. And then there's 2 other bands. I'm not familiar with the 2 other ones. So, but you know, it's a good day. Cosmo Music Fest is a good day to get out, and you know, there's live music going on all day, and then there's some vendors, and you see a lot of gear. It's a nice, you know, as long as it's not raining. Last year was a beautiful day, so it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the lineup last year more than I think the lineup that they have this year, but hey, can't have it all the time. Hey Terry, what's going on? Dano of New Jersey's in here. Cool. What is Cosmo? Cosmo is a music store in our area that is it's kind of the biggest music store in the southern Ontario region, I suppose, that I'm aware of anyway. And every year they have this event. It's almost like Sweetwater's event that they have, and they put a huge tent outside, and they have a bunch of gear in there and vendors, and you can walk around and meet some reps and try some gear, and the store inside's full of gear as well. And then outside they've got this huge stage set up, and they've got a beer garden and everything else, and it's all free. It's free concerts and stuff. And I think they have 5 or 6 main bands that go, and they start like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and they go right up till, I think the last band goes on at 8, and the last band this year is Sloan, and they're probably going to play at least 2 hours. So it's pretty cool. Scott, what kind of bridge is that? It's different. No, it's the same standard standard bridge that comes on the Les Paul standards, and most Les Pauls. As far as Les Pauls go, I'm still looking around to see if I can find an R9 at a reasonable price, but there's not much out there, and I don't know if it's worth. I mean, they're beautiful guitars, and I'm sure they're worth that to somebody, like the prices they're asking for. I'm just having a hard time to say you know, that it is worth, because I'd be selling this exact guitar, right? So this is my standard, and if you can see, it's got a crazy good top on it. It's hard to see with that light reflecting on it, but it's got a, you know, AAA top on this thing, and there, got the locking tuners. It's a Les Paul standard. It's a 2016. It's got the pull. Let me see if I can. So this is the bridge humbucker, and then if I pull, it brings it up to single coil, and you can hear more noise, obviously, right? So it's got all that funky stuff on it. I don't really use those features a lot, like that pull push whatever, and a single coil mode and that, because I got a Strat and Telly's back there, so when I need that tone I reach for those guitars. But it's there on this guitar, and it's handy to have, I suppose, if you're playing live and you need to change the tone quickly. You just pull that and it gives you a different feel altogether. So yeah, but the R9 is, like I said, the cheapest I can find that's something that I'm looking for as far as models, years, and colors and stuff. Even used, you're looking at 59, 5800 is the cheapest I've seen. So I mean, that's a lot of money. And if I would sell this one, I'd probably sell it, you know, around 28. So still, I wouldn't even be able to get half the money, and then it would be. So I gotta decide whether or not it's worth it to do that. But I'll keep looking, and like I said, I'm going to Vegas on Friday, and I'll be there for a week, and I'll look around now and there and see what's available and what kind of prices they have and all that stuff. But I'm in no rush or no big panic for one. If I find one, I get it, and if not, then I keep what I have. It's all good. Let's see, I've got a couple of questions here. Ben says, I saw Chilliwack a few years ago at Rich. They were great. Met them. Okay, cool. I've never seen Chilliwack. Not really. Like, I know of them and I know some songs, but never really followed them that much. A beer garden and free music. Now you're talking. Yeah, you know, it's a pretty good event for, you know, for the area here. It's really cool. So I'll be going unless something happens, but most of the time I'm okay. Scott says, cool thing, must have the shadow of seeing when you put it in front of the camera. It looks, yeah, it's just a normal bridge. Dan of New Jersey says, I have a 16 Les Paul 2 asymmetric neck. Yeah, this is the same thing, right? Asymmetric, and it's got a thinner neck than, well, than my other Les Paul back there. The other Les Paul is a traditional, and it has more of a 50s style neck on it, which I like a lot, which is why I'm looking at the R9. But, you know, I'm pretty good with necks. Unless they're really big and bulky, then I prefer something a little smaller. Like this one I'm really comfortable with, but I think I'm more comfortable with the neck on the traditional. So I'm pretty good with going back and forth between necks. Terry says, Brian, hope you're well. I was just playing and a little uploaded it now that I feel better. Slip disc in my lower back earlier. Oh, that sucks. And oh yeah, Quentin posted some pictures of his whatever he was doing today. I'm very careful when Quentin sends me a link to a picture or something, because good Lord, and what he sent today, he had like IVs and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, I can't see that. I'm just not a needles guy when I see stuff like that. So I gotta tell him to stop that. Nathan, what's going on? Nathan Madden, official page, it says on your name. I wonder what that means. How's it going? Terry, maybe you should look for 2019 or 2020 at a cheaper price. Well, the 2019s and 2020s are going for like 7,000 plus for the R9s. It's insane. I'm not paying that for a guitar. Yeah, so that's why I'm looking at the used market. But even the used market, the guys are selling them at crazy prices, because I think they retain their value very good, right? So guys are still getting that kind of money for it, so they're going to list it for that. I contacted a guy today that lives in Ottawa, and he's selling an R9. I think it's a 2014, and yeah, he was asking 6,100, and I asked him if he was negotiable in the price, and he said no, not really. So whatever that means. But there's not much out there in our, like, I checked all of Canada through Kijiji, our site that we go to find used gear or whatever. That's like our classifieds around here. And for the year range and prices that I'm looking at, there was only a few. So not a lot of choice for that. Will Varela, my channel trailer was shot at the event. Oh, okay, cool, Ben. Yeah, at this year's Cosmo event, I'm planning to do some footage as well. I'll bring a camera or you know, some sort of little portable rig and try to shoot some footage and do some stuff. Last year I didn't. I just went and hung out and watched the bands and things like that. But this year, since I'm doing more YouTube stuff, it's probably a good idea to do that. Yeah, Terry says 2020 are supposed to be cheaper. I think the guitars, their standard line and stuff, they're looking at dropping the prices a little bit, is what they said. I can't see it dropping a lot, but I don't think the custom shop stuff is going to drop a lot, or I think that just keeps going up in price. I don't believe that they're going to drop those prices anytime soon. So, Will Varela, food and drink is always overpriced no matter where you live. Yeah, when you go to these events, they charge you. The only thing I didn't like about the Cosmo event last year, and it was a beautiful sunny day and it was super hot outside, is they ran out of water. So when you went to the food trucks or whatever, nobody had water, or they were waiting on some water to come in or whatever, and so you had to buy pop or juice or something like that, whatever they had, right? So, and then or go get beer. And the beer lineup was insane. That's the other thing they need to fix this year. They need to have a better system for the beer garden, because oh my God, you have to stand in this huge line to get, you know, this ticket, or like Ron White would say, coupon. You got to get your coupon, and you go and you wait and you give your coupon to the beer person, and they give you a beer. But just to get your coupon, you have to wait forever, and it's insane. I'm like, no way, I'm not that desperate for a beer. I'm not waiting 2 hours to get my little coupon. So hopefully they fix that. I know that they've changed the way the registration. You can get your bracelet ahead of time, which will have a separate line when you walk in. So that should make getting in the event a lot quicker than it was last year. But the other stuff inside, like the food trucks and having access to a lot of water during the day, and the beer tent lineup, I don't know what they're going to do with that, but hopefully they can fix that issue, because that was insane. Let me just have a quick look here and see what you guys are saying in the chat, if I'm missing anything. And it's like that for most events. They just douse you with the, you know, buying a hamburger or and a pop or something. You're going to pay like $10 or more for that. It's like that everywhere. How do you run out of water? I know, right? It's insane. Like they had a bunch of cases of bottled water, and it was so hot that day, and they had tons of people there, so I guess they just ran out. And then somebody went on a water run. Oh, they're going to get some, and by the time, you know, it could be an hour later before you see it arrive. So this year, I don't know if they let you do it or not, but I'm going to bring like a cooler and bring my own stuff, but I don't know if they're going to let me in with that or not. I'll have to see. Let's see. Ben Combe kills me. One bar here in the summer has $1 domestic beer, so it doesn't have to be all that. Yeah, $1 for domestic beer is pretty good. Doesn't happen here, not very often anyway, that I know of. Ben, I was lucky the Keeley rep was giving us water all day. Good. Yeah, the reps I think inside have, you know, the vendors and stuff all have water and things, but I don't know what it was out there with the food trucks running out. Coupon. I don't know if you guys know that skit Ron White does. Ron White's a comedian. He's awesome, and he does this skit about standing in line to get a beer, and he has to go to this line where they give you the coupon, and then you pay for that, and you stand in another line to get your actual beer, which is just the stupidest thing in the world. Just make one line or two lines to pay to get your beer and get out. Enough of this crap. We have lots of craft beer here, and they charge a fortune for it. Yeah, that's like that everywhere with the craft beer, and that craft beer stuff has been pretty popular the last couple of years. A lot of people are into it, so they're charging for it. Obviously, they're making their money. That's just the way she goes. It's the market, what the market will pay, that's what people do. Zach says, Brian, I will be at college. Good. I hope to see a bunch of you guys there, if you're in the area, right? I don't know, I know a lot of you are not in Ontario, but there are quite a few that are, and if you get a chance to go, it's a cool event for free. Yeah, can't go wrong. And if you want to see some cool gear, it's a little hard to on that day to sit and actually try stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, you can try anything you want, but to actually try it, like for, you know, you want to sit down with a Friedman guitar and you want to try it for 20 minutes and plugged into an amp or something, that can be a little hard because there's so many people. But you can try pretty much anything. Terry says, just smuggle it under your clothes in a wineskin. Yeah, well, I mean, you could, but it wouldn't last you very long, because if you're there the full day, right? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Ben Coombs, a carnival with rides, live music, but they don't have a picnic area in the park. You can also barbecue. Okay. Thrash says, I saw a documentary from Canada in the 80s. It says, if you find a mouse in it, you get a free tour of the factory. Okay, interesting. And Ben says he'll be going live from Cosmo at some point. Yeah, I think Cosmo actually has free Wi-Fi. I don't know if you can get a really good signal when if you're outside, but we were there on the weekend, and Eric from EVH TV had his phone and he connected to the Wi-Fi network inside Cosmo, and we were able to go live for a little bit. So yeah, I just don't know, like, if you want to, I'm sure you can go live using your data plan, but you're going to use your data. And in Canada, we get soaked big time for our phone plans and data plans. It's not like you guys in the States have some crazy good deals on phone plans. Some of you guys get unlimited data for, you know, a fairly good price. Here there's no unlimited data, and if there is, you're going to pay a hell of a lot. I haven't found a plan like on the network that I'm on, which is Bell, that has anything like that would be of any, you know, that you would be able to do without paying a fortune for. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to Vegas, leaving on Friday to go to Vegas, and when I'm in Vegas, I have this roaming plan that I have to buy from my carrier, and I think they only allow you 500 megs a day or something like that, which is, you know, nothing. And if you're going to do any live video using that data plan, you're going to definitely cap it within, you know, a very short period of time. So I don't know. If I do go live from the convention center inside the exhibit hall, I'll have to connect to the Wi-Fi that's at the convention center. But with that many people in there, on those days, like the days of the exhibit opens, there's like 100,000 people in that building, so it's going to be probably not doable. But I'll try. It's a cool event. I mean, if I can show you guys any of it, I will. Scott DeFunk says, I've been to Tigers games, spent $50 on beer for myself and not even gotten a buzz. Like $10 for a shot glass. I know, it's crazy. Here in Toronto, for the Blue Jays games this year, they've dropped all their prices as far as, like, I think certain types of beer, I think Molson and Budweiser or something, you can get them for $5 a beer, which, you know, is reasonable compared to what they were charging. Like you said, $10 a beer. That was pretty much what we were charged when we went to Blue Jays games. So that's not too bad. But this year it looks like they're dropping the prices a little bit, which is good. And even the food and stuff, they've got some special deals on that. So I think they're realizing that they're starting to, especially if the team you're going to see isn't doing well. Blue Jays, when they do well, they sell out and they make a lot, you know, there's no problem. But when the last couple of years, they haven't been doing that well, and they don't sell as many tickets, obviously. So they have to find a way to get people to go back to the games. And with everything else we have access to as far as entertainment and media and internet and everything else, less people are going to the games, I think, unless your team is winning. So they've got to do some stuff like that, which is, you know, good that they lower the prices a little bit. Let's see. Ed Dana says, we have a thing in the fall called Thunder on the Strip. On opening day, everyone jacks their prices because they know people have no other choice but to pay it. Yeah, standard practice around all kinds of events. That's the way they do their stuff. I have a track phone. I don't know what that is, track phone. Ben says 4 gigs for $80 a month. Yeah, I have a shared plan. Me and my wife share data, and it's 7 gigs a month that we have. And I believe for the data plan and then the phone, which is unlimited long distance and text in Canada, I think I pay like $120. That's for my phone, and her phone, she pays $70, just for her phone plan, and we share the data. So between the both of us, we're paying over $200 a month for stupid phones. It's insane. Dano of New Jersey says AT&T Unlimited in Canada, $10 a day. Yeah, $10 a day. I don't know what that, because you guys get unlimited in the States. We don't have, I don't think there are any unlimited plans in Canada. Survey says married couples have better sex, especially if the husband is in Vegas and the wife. No comment. I'm not going there. Terry or anyone else here in Canada, go to the CRTC site, sign up for a petition. Yeah, you can sign a petition to force the big three to lower their prices, but they have a monopoly on the data, and they just, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I signed that petition and everything, and good luck. I just don't believe that they ever do anything, because they line the pockets of the politicians and they get their way. You know, the politicians aren't going to force them to do something if they're you know, pumping money into their campaigns and stuff. So I don't know. I think it's a freaking corrupt system, and don't have much faith in it changing. Scott Connor, what's going on? That's about 4 million less than the home Kirk Hammett is selling in San Francisco. Is he selling his home, Kirk Hammett? Yeah. I know that that I think it was Lars was selling his house too. I saw it a few months ago, or some news thing came up and it said that he was selling his house, and they showed pictures of it and everything. It looked amazing, but Jesus, good luck affording that. Oh yeah, if you're abroad, yes, $10 a day out of the USA. Yeah, that makes sense. Bottled water cost at concert is ridiculous too. Yeah, they just gouge us, right, when we go to events, because they know you're gonna need it and you can't bring it in. So unless you can go the whole time without drinking water or whatever it is that you need. How long does 4 gig last streaming on YouTube? Well, it depends on the quality that you're streaming out at, and I think I'd have to look it up. I did look it up one time, but I don't know how much. Like if you stream at 480p, I'm gonna say maybe 20 hours. I don't know. I'd have to double check, but it's not that much. Oh, it's 3.5 hours. Sorry. Yeah, I'm way off. But I think it depends on the quality you're pushing out too. So if you want to push out a 720p stream, obviously you're going to use way more data. Like tonight, like in my plan that I have here for internet is crazy slow and everything. So I stream at 480 just so that I can stream. So you use Wi-Fi whenever possible. Yeah, that's what I do. I try to use Wi-Fi as much as possible when I'm out, like doing stuff. If I'm at a an event or something, I'll try to connect to the Wi-Fi and just use that. No unlimited plans in Canada. Believe me, I've looked. Yeah, I didn't figure there would be. Biggest plan was 80 gig for $320 a month. Wow. Yeah. David Coverdale is selling his home, Terry says. Okay. Stafford Music Studio, what's going on? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. I think it's, yeah, that's fine. I think I stream at 720, Ben says. Yeah, I think you do, because the streams I've watched, you could put it to 720. Even when I watch streams, I usually bring down the quality just because you're using less bandwidth, and depending on your plan, if you have unlimited, who cares, and you can do it, go ahead. But for me, I have 150 gig a month that I have access to. So when I'm watching streams and stuff, I put it at 480 or 320 so I can watch an hour show and use like half the data that I would if I was watching at 720. And the quality isn't, you know, it depends what you're watching. It usually doesn't affect me that much. If I'm just watching like a live streamer talking or something like that, it's like this here. It doesn't have to be like super high quality. It's what it is. If you're watching something that has a lot of graphics and stuff like that, or you need some more detail in whatever the product they're showing or whatever, then fine, put it on 720. But if you don't need it, why use your bandwidth? If you've got unlimited bandwidth, it doesn't matter. But if you don't, then you can save yourself some bandwidth and, you know, watch more content instead of going over your limits. Let's see. Ed says, I have some new guitar challenges. I did see the challenges. I just never do them. I just don't know if I have. I always think about doing them, and then I get to doing other stuff, and I just forget. And then by the time I think about it, they're over. But I might look into doing these other ones that you're posting. Well, I got to leave in a couple of days, in 2 days after actually, so probably won't have time to do this one either. Vincent, what's going on? Nice to see you. David Ennis, how's it going? Elon has already started placing the satellites. Yeah. I don't know if Elon is going to figure it out. Stafford said he's been working 65, 70 hours a week. Wow. Yeah, you're putting in the time, right? Ben says, I have unlimited on the home network, but it's slow. Well, it can't be much slower than mine. And you got unlimited, that's awesome. Alex Radford, what are you doing, brother? Speaking of guitars, my pod dealer isn't texting me back, anyone else. No, I don't have that problem. No. So let me see. Is there anything here that is cool that I could play something? And you guys can tell me if the mix is okay and all that good stuff. So that is why I'm doing this. Little jam-a-rooney. I am not comfortable playing tonight. I don't know what it is with this setup. One thing I'm going to do when I get back is look for a cool wireless headphone thing that I can plug into my system. I'm not going to use it when I'm recording, obviously, because if it's wireless, it's probably not the best quality. But when I'm doing these live streams, if I can get rid of this cable, and the other thing I need is a wireless for the guitar, so I don't have a cable here for when I'm doing these live streams anyway. If I'm recording or something, I'm going to keep the cable plugged in and all that stuff to maintain the quality and the signal. But doing these live streams when you're all hooked up and you're trying to get comfortable and play, it's in my setup anyway. I don't like it. So when I get back next in a week or so, I'll start searching around to see what's available out there, because it has to be headphones that has it's almost like a real wireless system where you would have a receiver plugged into your mixer where your headphones are plugged in right now, and then, you know, the headphones could talk to the receiver. Not these Bluetooth things and all that stuff. That won't work in this setup. Marsman, what's going on? Nice to see you. See everybody saying hi to each other, which is awesome. Listen to the stream via some headphones for the first time. Man, what a difference in sound. Oh yeah? Okay. I usually listen just using my iPad when I'm listening to streams and stuff, and it sounds okay. I mean, it probably sounds better with headphones, obviously, especially if the streamer is, you know, pushing out some good audio. So it probably sounds better with headphones. It's probably a good idea to do that more often. Scott, I can't even keep the house plants alive. Okay. Vincent. Down, yeah. Like the crunch. I like the grunt crunch you had. Oh yeah. Well, I'm just in my setup tonight. Because I'm still testing out that pedal that I bought on the weekend from Cosmo there. I bought the Outlaw Effects Marshall. It's kind of a distortion pedal, overdrive pedal, I suppose. Trying to get that classic rock type of Marshall tone. And I'm using my Mesa, and I'm just using the clean channel, which is channel 1 on it, and I've got it set as clean as possible. And then when I hit that pedal, that's what you're hearing now, is that type of distortion, which is what I wanted. I wanted more of that classic rock feel, because the other two channels on my amp are the gain channels, and they're fine. I mean, they sound amazing, but they're more gain than you would have in what you just heard, as far as like a classic rock, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin type of tone. Channel 2 and channel 3 on that amp would, you know, they're just too much gain for that. So I don't know if I'm going to keep that pedal. When I get back, I'll probably go back to Cosmo or something, and I want to test out a few other ones just to see. I don't mind this one. I just want to compare it to a few other ones just to see if I might just keep this one if the other one, like if it's all the same and not that much of a difference, or if I don't find anything better, and then I'll keep this one, because I am getting the tone that that I like, but I just would like to compare it with a couple other ones that I've heard that are really good for what I'm trying to do. So I'll see when I get back, I suppose. Man, this chat is small tonight as far as like the text on it. Wish I had a room that big for my stuff. Love that tone, Brian. Thanks, Will. Yeah, cables suck, man. It's just, it's not that they suck. Like when I'm doing recording and I'm recording tracks and stuff, I don't care. I'm set up and I'm just doing that. It's no problem. But when I'm doing a live stream and I'm moving around, or I need to go to a separate camera and turn my chair around to that side, or and especially when I'm recording live, I usually record standing up. Believe it or not, I feel more comfortable playing guitar standing up. Sitting down, I feel, I don't know what it is, like my arm isn't extended like it is when I'm standing. So when I get to doing leads down here, I feel like, oh, I gotta bring this up, and it's just not as comfortable for me. But when you're all wired up like this, you know, and you go to stand up and everything is pulled, like it's just not that great. So I'm gonna try to change that setup once I get back. Zach Tong says, sounds odd. Thank you, man. Ed Dana, he says, I bought a $19 wireless ones for mowing the lawn. They were awful, but the radio function worked. Yeah, well, I have wireless headphones that I use for my iPods and iPhones and everything else, but with this current setup going into a mixer and everything else, I need a specific type of headphone that has a receiver on it that I plug a 1/4 inch into, and then I can, they do sell them. I seen them before, like Sennheiser and a couple of other companies sell them, you know, but they're not that cheap, so I would have to see what's out there and what works. Will says, you have such a calming voice. Maybe you should be. Yeah, I work with doctors. I'm not a doctor, but I work with them all day. So, because I work for a medical college, do all their multimedia, so I'm around them all the time. I don't know about calming voice though. Denny Allen, does everyone use dark themes to make background black? I don't use a dark theme. I just use whatever the standard theme is. Hey, Guitar Hack, what's going on? Just popping in to say hello. Well, hello. Hello, Guitar Hack. I watched your stream yesterday, Guitar Hack. Very good. I always enjoy them. So that was pretty cool. And Marsman, just going, everybody's saying hi to Guitar Hack. And then he's saying, click your emoji beside the bell at the top and it's in the menu. Oh, to change the theme? Okay. Let's see. Brian Allen, oh, sorry. David Ennis says, Brian, is this the big show in Las Vegas? The show that I'm going to, yeah, well, it's called NAB. It's National Association of Broadcasters, so it's a huge show for cameras, anything multimedia as far as broadcasting. It's there. It's like CES. It's the same size, but it's all geared around camera technology, all the new cameras, all the new live streaming stuff, all the new audio stuff like Sennheiser, and everybody's there. Universal Audio will probably be there, so I'll go check them out. All the lighting companies, all the lenses, DJI, Sony, Panasonic, everybody's there. And but I go there for that, as well as a bunch of classes that happen prior to the exhibit hall opening. I think the exhibit hall with all that stuff opens on Monday and runs through Thursday, but I have a bunch of classes that I have to do on Saturday and Sunday, so that's why I leave on Friday and I get there Friday afternoon, and I don't have anything to do on Friday when I get there, so I usually use that time. I get there in the afternoon, so what I like to do is just check into the hotel and then, you know, to get a bite to eat or something, and then I venture off and, you know, visit. I'll try to find some guitar stores or something in that area and go visit that. And because the rest of the week it gets pretty hectic as far as schedule, like I have events and classes and all kinds of stuff happening every day, so don't have that much time. I try to get to see a show or something, like there's a show called Rock the Vault or something, that it's a bunch of I guess musicians, like Doug Aldrich was in it the year that I went to see him, and some other famous musicians. They all get together and they form this show, and they just cover a whole bunch of bands or songs from the 70s and 80s, and it's all rock stuff, and it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it, and I think they're actually there when I go next week. I think they're playing at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, so that's not where I'm staying, but I can just hop over there and check it out. So that I want to see that show probably, and then I try to get to a couple other shows if I have the time. Rockin' Dave Byron's here. What's going on? Just jumping in to say hi. Just posted a video of gators doing mating calls. Okay, you got gators from across the street in your house. Wow. Okay, be careful. I'm sure you guys are used to them down there. I'll check out the video. Absolutely. While in Vegas, check out Celine's show or Billy Idol. No, Billy Idol, yes. I don't know if I'd check out Celine. Celine, not a big Celine person. My wife is, but not me. But Billy Idol would be cool. Will says, don't you dare to time Dev with some gator food. That's funny. Stop picking on Dave. Rockin' Dave Byron. Yeah, so I'm sure it'll be a busy week. I've already got some suggestions on some music stores. I was in another chat. I think I was in Ben's chat on Monday night, and a couple of guys were giving us some suggestions on some stores to check out while in Vegas as far as guitar stores. I went to a Guitar Center when I was there last time. That was the only one I went to. Or Sam Hash is the other one I went to. Wasn't that impressed with Sam Hash. Guitar Center, it was big, like, well, bigger than Sam Ash, obviously, and it had a lot of selection as far as guitars and things, but I didn't try anything. And the room with all the higher end guitars, like the custom shop stuff, the guitars are all displayed on the wall and you can touch them or whatever, but you can't take them off the wall unless you ask somebody, because they're locked. So it's like a hassle, and it was pretty busy when I went, so I didn't bother trying anything. I just kind of looked around, and then I walked up the street from Guitar Center. There's a Harley dealer there in Las Vegas, Harley dealer, so I went and, you know, walked around in there, bought a shirt and stuff. So that's the only guitar store the two guitar stores that I went to when I was there last time, was Sam Ash and Guitar Center. So this time I'd like to get to a few other ones, and I think there's a couple other ones that are like smaller but more boutique type of stores. So if I have time, I want to check those ones out for sure. Let's see, Janice stopped in for a bit. Hey Janice, they're back. Scott Connor, as far as Celine Dion goes, just drop the first name and take the N off of the last, and wow, media. Yeah. See ya, Janice. Rocking Dave Byron, brother. Go to Cowtown. Yeah, that's what a few people have told me, but somebody said in the other chat that we were in the other night when people were posting the guitar stores that Cowtown was closed or something. I'll check when I get there, you know, but if it's open, I don't know why somebody said it was closed or wasn't in business anymore. I don't know, but I'll check it out when I go. We like humans, Dave says. Ed says, Janice Lala, you did that once already. Yeah. She jumps in and jumps out quickly. She's a busy lady. Dan of New Jersey says they started locking down guitars at Guitar Center in New Jersey too. Really? That's weird that they... I don't know. I guess maybe there's a problem in those areas and people have stolen some or moved them around. I don't know what it is, but like the store that I talk about that we all met up on the weekend and we went to Cosmo Music, which is a huge store, and it has a lot of really high-end, like we were playing $10,000 guitars in that store, and there's nothing is locked down. You can just walk up to it, grab it, and plug it into whatever amp you want, and they have a special room with a lot of the high-end amps, and you can walk in there and plug any one of them in and try them. So yeah, that's kind of weird that Guitar Center is locking everything down like that. I guess they might have had some issues or something, I don't know. Hey EVH, what's going on, brother? Eric is in the house. Dan says, like someone is going to steal them when they are 12 feet above. Yeah, exactly, right? They're not easy to get to. I don't know. I don't know why they do it at Guitar Center like that. The Sam Ash that I went to didn't have them locked down, but the higher end stuff was behind the counter, like on the wall, so you'd have to ask somebody, can I try that guitar type of thing, but it is what it is. Oh, there's Janice again. Hey Janice. And Eric, seen Eric before, that's cool. Google says Cowtown is closed. Huh, that's interesting, eh? because I think from what everybody was saying in the chats and stuff, that that's a pretty good store, or very popular store. So I wonder why it's closed. I'll double check when I go there. But there was another store there that was like very boutique oriented, where I can't remember what it was called. I think you actually need an appointment to go or something, but we'll see. Zach Thong says, Brian, tried out Line 6 Helix LT. Wasn't really for me. I returned it. The effects sound awesome, but I really don't like the amp tones. Really? Oh, that's interesting. I would say, the only thing I would say to that is that if you tried out the Line 6, you bought the Line 6 and brought it home and just tried it right fresh out of the box without tweaking it any, like, you're probably not going to be as happy as you thought you would be, because of the stuff you're hearing online. Like when you hear Eric play or other people play through them, they're probably not using stock presets, first of all, and you have to go into the amp models and really go through the settings and set them up properly for your setup and your guitar and stuff. The other thing I would say is, and I've been able to do well using the stock cabs, but since I started using third-party IRs, which is cabs that you can buy, like I bought the Celestion pack, and I bought a pack from Onammer that has Mesa cabs and everything. I used those, and it was I find that quite a huge improvement to my patches when I'm running my Helix. So that's all I can say with that, but it's not for everybody. Like some people just doesn't matter, you know, they don't like the feel of it or something. So that's the only thing I could say as far as that goes, as far as the Line 6 Helix. But I have one, and but I also have a tube amp and an aux, and so I can go between both of them. I have no issues, and I think the Helix sounds really good with my settings that I've put into it, but it just takes a little work to get up and running to where you like it. Right, just plugging it in right from the factory, you're probably not going to find something that's going to blow you away or anything. Rocking Dave says, hey Brian, liked your video with Eric, Guitar Hacks. Yeah, that was a really fun day. I really enjoyed that. So I hope that we can do that again someday soon, and maybe in the summer for sure. Eric, I was going to say, if you want to come back to Cosmo in the summer, I think the first weekend of June is their big event, and that's when all the bands are playing, and then they've got a lot of vendors that show up for that. So it's like a little mini NAMM type of thing, and then they have concerts going on. So if it's a nice day, it's a lot of fun, and it's free. So I think a bunch of people are going. Ben and a lot of other people. Zach, who's in here, said he was going, so it's a good time to meet everybody and have some fun. Scott Connor says, in Richmond, Virginia, the Sam Ash and Guitar Center are less than 100 yards apart. Really? Which one is nicer? Is it the Guitar Center or Sam Ash that is a nicer store? I found Sam Ash in Vegas wasn't, well, I mean, not that it was a bad store, I just didn't find it, you know, anything special. Let's see. Eric says, I'm up late doing non-glorious things like laundry, but noodling on my guitar. Yeah, well, you got to do those things, right? That's part of life. Laundry is a necessary thing to do. Laundry and guitar. But at least you get to play guitar, right? Eric says, I use a Celestion G12 EVH. Love them. So you're probably talking about the IR, right? And you got to build your own presets when you're doing the Helix stuff, because that's the only way you're going to get it to be really good as far as getting your tone down. And quite frankly, I have maybe 2 or 3 presets that I've built, and I've built them using templates from Jason Sedite's stuff, and they're more Marshall-y type of tones, like Marshall Plexis or things like that. And I always go to those 3 or 4 presets. I don't usually venture past them anymore, because that's what I like, unless I'm doing a recording and I need something completely very different than I have in my current setup, the patches wise, or I need some special effect or something, then I'll venture out and do some other presets. But for the most part, I stick with what I have, and it works fine. But it's just you know, some people like it and some people don't. Marsman says Duck's Deluxe Guitar Store is a good one in Vegas also. Ducks, okay, I will check that out. I'll make a note of that. Ducks. Okay. R2, R3, what's going on, brother? How's the Les Paul treating you? Hopefully you're still having fun with that guitar. It's a beautiful guitar. Todd, aka, what's going on, brother? Got a few people jumping in. This wasn't a planned stream, by the way. This is just something that I checked online. Nobody was streaming, so I figured I'd come on. Because I'm still trying to configure my setup here after it all crashed on the weekend. So everything seems to be running okay right now, and the mix and all the stuff on the board with the amp seems to be working. So I figured I'd do another live thing. I'm going to probably do a live thing tomorrow on Facebook, just because I need to test going to Facebook as well using this software, because I was able to do it in the past, but when all the software crashed, it blew out all those settings and all those templates, so I've got to rebuild them. So I might do a quick Facebook thing tomorrow before I leave for Vegas. I leave on Friday, so let's see. AVH says, yep, correct, Brian. It's IRs he's talking about. Great stuff. Guitar Hack, what did Guitar Hack say? Did I miss something? Putting my board back together is for, oh, you're putting your pedal board back for the weekend, right? You're doing a gig on the weekend. Cool. Cool. Dave Byron, if I catch those gators, custom gator straps for everyone. Yeah, you can hunt the gators in your area, I think, right? Or do you need a license or something? Because I think you guys have so many of them that they allow you to hunt them on a regular basis. I don't know. I'm very naive when it comes to that stuff, so don't take take what I'm saying with any seriousness. I'm just, you know, I watch TV and I see people talking about hunting gators all the time, so I figured that was a thing. Let's see. Eric from EVH says he only uses 2 presets on Helix in total. See, and there's hundreds of presets on there, but when you build a couple that you like of your own, you kind of stick with them and you tweak those a little bit. Ed Dana says, I find those fancy effects suck live. I've never used the Helix live because I'm not in a band or anything. I'm just doing studio work, and they work for my environment, so I can't really speak to that. But I know a lot of people use the Helix, and I know of actual like real big bands that are out there playing that are using it. So it all depends of how you set it up, I suppose. Scott says, Dana, I'm with your brother. Modeling amps just confuse me too. There are a lot of options. There's no doubt about it, but you just have to focus on the things that you need. And you have to approach it in the same way you'd approach an analog setup. Like, so if you know the effects that you like and the type of amp tones you like, you have to approach it that way, and you build your presets around that. If you get bogged down by looking at every pedal and trying every effect and tweaking all, like, there's just way too many things, and you're gonna get, like, they call it option paralysis or whatever. There's just too much there, and then you get overwhelmed and you never get anything good out of it because you're focused on trying to figure out everything. Just focus on the fundamentals of what you're doing in an analog world. So if you had a tube amp in front of you and you had a couple of pedals on the floor, what would that be? And start your preset on Helix or any modeler with that in mind, and put that chain together that way. And then you can go ahead and tweak everything in there within those parameters. That's the only way to do it. If you get, like, I mean, it's fun when you get something new like a Helix and it has tons of options, and you go in there, oh, let me try this, let me try that. That's fine, but if you focus on building your preset that you're going to be using for the most part around what you would do in an analog world, you're much farther ahead, I find. Let's see. Sorry if I'm missing any questions. If you highlight my name, I'll see it if you're asking a question or something, but I'm just trying to, I'm not very good with this stupid chat thing if it jumps up on me. So I'm sorry if I missed a question or something, but if my name's highlighted, I see it. So I don't do presets if I can't get it from the amp, and a few pedals, it ain't happening. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, hey, you do what works for you personally. I don't see any problem if you can get to where you need to be tone wise, and it, you know, it's an inspiring sound and setup for you, and it's going to make you play and get you to play more. That's all that matters at the end of the day. All right. Todd, what happened on the weekend, Brian? Todd says, what happened on the weekend? Well, we went to a music store. We met up with Guitar Hack and Eric from EVH, and we went to a music store and played a bunch of guitars and played a bunch of amps and talked, and it was a lot of fun. We hung out. Nobody bought a guitar, but we tried a bunch. I'm going... Zach says, I'm going what you're saying, Brian, about the Helix. I'm doing what you are saying. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Helix is awesome. It's just, it's not for everybody. That's all I can say for that. And when I got back into guitar, or back into music in general, was only in January 2018, which is just over a year ago. I didn't really know. I was looking at whatever options were out there. I had an amp, and then I saw the Helix, and I saw all these reviews and people using it, so I figured I'd pick one up and try it, and it was kind of fun to just, you know, plug it into my system here and go into my interface, and I was able to get a lot of cool stuff with it. But the way I have it set up now is way different than when I had it set up just 6 months ago when I was still learning how to use it, right? So it takes a little time to get used to, obviously. But right now, since I've gotten my Mesa and that aux box, I've been going to that 90% of the time, because I like that a lot. I prefer that, actually, but there's nothing wrong with the Helix. They're very, and I still use my Helix all the time for recording. If I'm doing, especially when I'm doing clean stuff, I really like the Helix a lot for that. Let's see. I'm going to run down the chat a little bit here. Sure. EVH says, I see a garden snake and I run and scream. Yeah, I'm not big with snakes and stuff like that, that's for sure. I went to, I did a photo shoot. This was in Vegas, actually. It was a few years ago, and we went in the desert, and we had to do, it was a model shoot and everything, and we had all our lighting and all kinds of setup there. It was a big production, actually, and as I'm walking through these areas, it was like a bush area or whatever, and I was setting up. There's a guy that says, you know, watch out or whatever, and I looked down, and there was a rattler like maybe 5 feet away from me, and you could hear the tail and everything. I'm going, oh my God. And so I got out of there, but if that guy wouldn't have told me, like wouldn't have said anything, I would have probably walked right over it, and then I would have been in trouble. You get bit by one of those, you better get to the hospital quickly. So yeah, so when I go to these things, if I'm doing like a remote shoot or something like that, I have to be very, because, you know, if you're not familiar with the area and you're in a desert or a forest or whatever, and you're not familiar with the environment that's there, you better be careful. So that was a lesson learned that day. R2R3 says, I would love the Rev D20 with 2-nose torpedo. Yeah, I've seen a couple of guys that were demoing them. It looks like a really cool little amp. I think Pete Thorne has one too called the PT15. I think you're going to see more amps come out with built-in load boxes and IR things, and I think it's only just a matter of time where you're going to see many manufacturers doing that, because it's just easier for people to play at home or play live to connect to. Let's see. EVH says, I built a preset tonight with 4 blocks only, and I was in heaven thanks to Jen Majura. Based it on the Engel amp. Cool. Yeah, Eric, you have to send me some of those presets. I'd like to try some of those out. Hey Brian, do you use I do use my cheap Digitech direct to the PEA, but just use basic settings. Does work for me. Yeah, and I've heard you live when you're doing your live streams and you're going live from a gig or something, and it sounds amazing. So obviously that's working well for you. So I say keep rocking it, man. You're doing a great job with that stuff. It doesn't have to be a Helix or an Axe effect or anything. It's whatever gets you to where you need to be tone-wise. Scott says, I see what you're saying, but I'm a new player. My first amp was a modeling amp that confused me so much I returned it for an amp that just had reverb and a dirty channel. I'm good. Yeah, and that's all you need, really. Play what makes you comfortable, and that you know, it doesn't give you too much headaches and fuss. So the more time you spend trying to learn these things, you'll spend less time playing, which is probably not a good thing. And trust me, I was a tube guy for 30+ years, and I hated digital. Every fiber my being, Eric says, and now he's playing Helixes a lot more. I'm sure that there is an option for everybody. Let's see, Vince. Hi, Vincent. How did you like the Sir Telly style guitar? How did you like? If you're talking about the one I tried on the weekend, which is the Andy Wood Sir Telly, I love that guitar. That was an amazing guitar. For me, out of all the guitars that I tried during that day at Cosmo, and I probably tried about 15 or so, that one and the Gibson Custom Shop were my two favorites, hands down. Man, that's a really nice guitar. And I have a Sir Telly, that blonde one back there that you can see. It's got this, it's a Sir Telly, but it doesn't have humbuckers in it. It's got regular Telly type of style pickups in it, and I love that guitar as well. The Sir guitars for me, the ones that I've played, and mostly the Tellys that I've played, they just feel amazing. They've got great necks on them. They play like really comfortably, and they sound amazing. So yeah, I love that Andy Wood, and I had an opportunity to buy that Andy Wood, that exact guitar, from another YouTuber here that you guys probably all know, which is a Guitar Pit. He bought one, and he was selling it a few weeks later because he sells and buys guitars all the time. And I told him, let me know. But when he let me know, I was actually working a deal for the Friedman Strat that I have back there, and I didn't have a Strat in my collection, and I needed a Strat for doing recording and things. So I just couldn't pull the trigger on both guitars. Obviously, it would have been way too much because the Friedman Strat is not cheap. So I had to pass on it. But man, I would have loved to have gotten that guitar. I would have gotten it because in Canada, that Sir Telly sells for $4,500 plus tax. And I think Guitar Pit was going to sell it to me for 22 or something, or 24 US. So it would have been around $3,000 Canadian, but it would have saved me a lot of money comparing to buying it new. But yeah, what a great guitar that was. Exact tongue, Brian, I'm playing guitar as I watch. Yeah, most people do that. They watch live streams and they play. I do it all the time. It's great. R2 says, I hear you, Eric. I'm so used to playing Mesa Boogie and PV Tube heads. I'm afraid to step out of my comfort zone. Yeah, yeah. But if everything you have right now is working for you, there's no real reason to step out of your comfort zone, really, in my opinion. I mean, it's nice to try this stuff and experiment, but if you don't really need it or have no need to change, then keep what you have. Let's see. Just going through quickly. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff here, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm not very good with this chat thing. Sorry. Love my Boss CE2, nothing better. What is a CE2? Is that the CE2? I'm trying to remember what that one is. I don't know if that's an overdrive or what is that. Let me know. Speaking of Rev, I will message you on Facebook about something Rev related. Cool, yeah. I've always wanted to try Rev amps. It just, I don't see them in the stores here at all. That I like, even Cosmo doesn't carry them, or if they are, they don't have any in stock because I've never been able to try one, and I always wanted to try one of those. I've heard a lot of good things about them. Let's see. Bear with me, folks. I am catching up. I am catching up here. I don't know how guys that have like 200 people in their chats keep up with their keep up with these chats, man. Pooh Ninja, what's going on? Nice to see ya. Scott Connor, I guess. Eric says, I wish I would have played more guitars, but playing 5 to 6, that's a record for me in a music store. Yeah, and for you it was more for hanging out with us. Yeah, I'm the same way, but and when I played all the guitars that I played, I didn't play them for that long, but I know the ones that really stood out for me. Sir Telly, Dave says, I have a Madam Strat. Good point. Rick Hefner, hey all, sorry, kind of lost in my looper while listening. Yeah, no problem, man. Jam away, jam away. It's all good. Ed Dana says, I don't mess with too many guitars at the guitar store because I know I can't afford to buy anything. Yeah, well, I couldn't afford to buy the ones I was playing. I just, you know, I figured I'm there, might as well try some stuff. I want to know what the hype is on some of these things. And some of it I get and some I don't. Some I picked up guitars that are well over my budget anyway, and they're like, I don't know, there's nothing really special about them. There's nothing in my collection that I would give up for one of those. One of them, and I'm a big Friedman guy, I really like the Friedman guitars, but they have a Friedman model, I don't know what the model name, but it's kind of their Les Paul style. It's like, you know, single cut or whatever. And I don't know, I didn't really like it. I tried it, and if you're going to spend, I think it was $4,500 or something for that guitar, I'd rather buy a Les Paul. So, but I pick up a SMEER, or not a SMEER, but a Friedman Telly or a Friedman Strat, and I'd rather have one of those than a Fender Custom Shop. Absolutely. So it just depends. Some guitars speak to you and some don't. Scott Connor says, there's a SMEER dealer in town I live. They used to have a brick and mortar store, but now went to internet orders only. Okay. I think there's a few stores in Ontario that sell SMEER and Friedman. I think there's one in Ottawa and stuff, so they are around, but not as many as you'd think. No disrespect, and don't worry, Rick, it's all good, brother. No disrespect taken. I had fun rocking the 100 watt. Yeah, that 100 watt tube you were playing, Eric, the other night sounded amazing. Definitely. Chorus. Oh, that's the C. Chorus ensemble. C is chorus. Cool. Yeah, I'm looking for a chorus actually. I'm gonna check that one out. That one, and I think I'm gonna. There's another one. I think it's the MXR one that I want to try. So that's the other thing I need in my analog setup is a chorus. I have an MXR carbon copy in there right now, which is awesome for delay, but I need a cool chorus. So I will check the Boss one. Well, can't go wrong with Boss. I think every Boss pedal I've ever played, I really liked. Is Rev a Canadian company? I believe they are. I believe they're out of Winnipeg, Canada. So yes, I think they are. A slow chat setting before you go live. Yeah, I think there's a way to do that, but I haven't ventured into that zone yet, so I don't know. There's probably a way to do it. Okay. Zach Thong says, Brian, when I was at Cosmo last year, I tried out a left-handed PRS guitar for the first time. Awesome guitar. Yeah, I bet. PRS makes some really nice stuff. Let's see. Let me unbox another box and post it on. Yeah, I saw your stream the other day, Ed. You were talking about people unbox. I get it. I get it. I don't want to watch another guy unbox. Yeah, I know, right? It is a thing, though. I don't know what it is. I know some kids that are making major money just unboxing toys and stuff. It's crazy, yeah. But I guess some people like to watch that type of stuff. I'd look at Nags Steve Stevens for a single cut. Yeah, I've never tried a Nags guitar. I don't know of any place in the area that has them. Guitar Hack says that Friedman Les Paul was that Friedman Les Paul was not the one you're looking at, $9,000. That was a SMEER Les Paul. That new SMEER that they came out, I think it's called the Aura or Aurora or something like that. That one was over $9,000, the gold top. I didn't try that. I should have tried it. I mean, there was nothing stopping me from trying it, but I looked at the price tag and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. The Friedman one that's like the Les Paul, I think is $4,500. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I thought that's what it was. But I know that SMEER Les Paul one was insanely priced. And I didn't try. I'm going to try it next time just to see what the, what it is what's so special about it. MXR analog chorus rocks. Yeah. That's going to probably be the next pedal that I get. It will be a chorus pedal. That'll pretty much complete my analog setup that I've got back there. If I bought a brand new Gibson Firebird, I know someone who would buy a brand new Firebird and post it on YouTube. Yeah, I know one. Right, MXR chorus sounds awesome. That's what I heard. So that's why I'm going to look at that one. I'll look at the Boss one as well. I'm trying to get over that custom 22 PR. Yeah, see, Guitar Hack, you shouldn't have tried the guitar. Well, you could always, you'd have to bring back the Firebird and get the PRS. There you go. That would be an option. It's a nice guitar, it really is. Yeah, you were looking at the SMEER Les Paul type of guitar that was over $9,000. It was insane. $9K. Does Pete Thorne come with the guitar? Yeah, for that price, you'd wonder, eh? But they must have a market for it if they're putting it out there at that price. They've already sold a bunch of them because that was the first one that they received at Cosmo, I believe, because I've never seen one there before. And all of the ones that he made, John SMEER, I think he made 100 and something his initial launch, and every one of them is sold. They all sold. So somebody's buying these guitars. I don't know who, but somebody is paying that type of money for those. It's insane. Otherwise, they wouldn't build these things. They wouldn't. Why would you build something and, you know, put it out for $9 grand so it sits on the shelf somewhere and people look at it and go, wow, that's a lot of money, and that's it. So there must be something. There must be some sort of market for it. Obviously, not a huge market, but some people are buying them. Yeah, I'm with you, Ed. He says about the unboxing stuff. I'm not down on anyone when you get new stuff, you want to show it, but after a while, unboxing videos of another Les Paul gets old. Yeah, I hear you. EVH, I'll do an unboxing of donuts after I eat them. EVH says, I look forward to my first Les Paul unboxing. Never done one yet. Well, see, that would be special because you've never had a Les Paul. So, yeah, I'm sure that would be excited to get one. Dana, I demoed the Firebird. No boxes involved. That's true. That's true. Guitar Hag did not do an unboxing of the Firebird. He just did a quick demo of it. So that's cool. That's cool. Okay, I think I've caught the end of the chat here. Yeah, so I think this setup is finally back and configured. Hopefully it doesn't crash again and I don't have to redo all these settings and all these levels. But yeah, I was tweaking the amp today, and with that cabinet going and the aux at the same time going through the system, it was amazing. It sounds amazing. So maybe the next time I stream, if I stream a little earlier, I'll let you guys hear that because it sounds massive and it's really cool. Funny thing is there aren't a lot of PRS's custom 22 demos, really? I always see it, well, maybe not the 22s, but I see a lot of PRS's online that people are showing off or demoing and stuff. At least the Firebird was something different. You know how many Rev pedal unboxing demos videos I've seen? Yeah. Those Rev pedals are pretty good though. So right now, like again, for the guys that weren't in here when I was talking about the current sound that I'm running through right now, is I'm running that new pedal. So it's going into the Mesa Clean channel, and that's the Outlaw Effects Marshall pedal. It's called the Marshall. So it's got more of a Marshall tone. And it is quite different than my tone that I have with the amp distortion. The amp distortion of the Mesa is not like a Marshall amp, it's like an American style gain amp, so it's more gain. So yeah, this one is very different. I always wondered with that song, right? When you do that song, a lot of people, like I've done it this way, like all my life, which was just. So when you do this part here, a lot of people don't know, but if you listen to the album, he's actually doing. He's pulling up on the. It sounds a little bit out of tune. But that's the way it is on the album. So I can't even do it properly, but it's. And I used to just do. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I never noticed that, but I was watching a video the other day, and the guy was playing it that way. I'm like, yeah, that's true. It does sound like. yeah, so that's that pedal. It's a lot more classic rock, more. It's not low gain by no means. It's still got a lot of gain, but it's a little less gain than the Mesa. That would sit nice in a mix. Yeah, it actually does sit nice in a mix. That pedal with that type of tone. Let's see. I get some odd trolls commenting on my vids as well. Yeah, I think there's a lot of trolls online. I don't know. I don't really pay that much attention to them, but I'm sure they're all around somewhere. I haven't bought an actual new guitar in a long time. I have 10 Strats, 4 Tellys. I can't even find my damn Les Paul. Wow, 10 Strats, Jesus. That's a lot of Strats, man. I have 1 Strat. It's not even it's not a Fender, it's a Friedman. Brian, have you seen the New American Chopper commercial? I have not seen the New American Chopper. I didn't even watch the New American Chopper shows. I know that they came back after their show was canceled like a few years back or whatever. They went like quite a few years without any shows, and they came back this year, I think, or maybe late last year, but I haven't watched any of the new episodes. Jimmy Page didn't have a pedal. Yeah, exactly. Went right into his Marshall. I'm sure you must have had some pedals or something at some point, for sure. Danielle, I'm gonna have to listen to that song now. When you listen to it, yeah, listen to that part. This it sounds. It doesn't sound like straight. It has that. Which is weird, but it is there. If you listen closely, you'll hear it. That's the way it is. Brian, 3 trolls gave you a 3. Not a problem, man. I don't ever focus on that stuff like thumbs up, thumbs down, amount of people in the chat, amount of views on the video. I don't look at that stuff at all. Not right now, anyway. Maybe if I ever got to be a bigger channel and I was more concerned with that stuff, you know, I might pay more attention to it, but I don't. I do this for fun, man. I just want to get on, play some music, talk to other people that are into music and guitars and stuff, and that's all I care about. I don't care for any of that other stuff. But there's nothing wrong with, you know, being aware of what's going on with your channel, but at this point I think I'm more focused on just going live, getting used to being live, getting used to speaking in front of a camera, because like I said, I work in this industry, right? But I've worked in this industry for over 10 years as far as filming and video and live streaming. I've been doing it for a couple of years now in a corporate environment. So, but I'm always behind the equipment. I'm running the setups and stuff like that. Being in front of a camera for me is very, very new. Not something I'm very, you know, comfortable with. Like, I'm getting more comfortable as I do them. This is why I do them. But it's more for fun than anything else that I'm doing this stuff. You're right. Does sound better with a push rather than a pull. It's just a slight push. Yeah, that's what it is, right? But you notice it when you do it. It sound you can hear it in the album that's how he plays it. Okay. Sorry if I'm missing any of your questions here. The chat is kind of going all over the place for me. Yeah, Brian, it's a slight bend. Rockin' Dave says that as well. Just don't bend the note too much. Yeah, that's what I'm having a problem with, is getting that exact, because if you bend too much, obviously it just sounds like completely out of tune. But if you bend just exactly where it needs to be, it doesn't sound out of tune. It just sounds like almost like a little fuller or something like that. I don't know what it is about it, but it's pretty cool. I don't know if he did that by mistake and they kept it in that way and they just went with it, but yeah. And all my life when I played, you know, if I picked up a guitar and I tried to play that song, I'd play it just straight, that's all. And even when I played on bass and stuff, well, on bass you wouldn't pull that note, but I never thought that that's what he was doing. Rick Hefner says, I just tried it and it seems better than pulling. Yeah, exactly, right? The dissonant sound cool, yeah. Terry says, also someone taught that drowning note on HLL on one of the guitar channels. Yeah. Well, I just saw somebody playing it the other day, and well, not the, I guess, I don't know when it was, a couple of months ago or whatever, and I noticed it, and I said, wow, that's weird. I never thought of it. Then I went and tried it on the guitar, and it's like, wow, okay, yeah, that's true. But I don't play it enough to get it perfect, right? So I just kind of jam along. If I, rarely play that song, but I just found it funny that that's how it's played. Rocking Dave Byron, if I don't like something, I move on, but I have thumb down pro Trump vids. Yeah, that's the other thing with trolls and the thumb down and thumb up and all that stuff. I mean, if you don't like something, then just leave it alone and move on to the next video. There's no need for, I think YouTube is actually looking at changing some stuff there, where if you're going to leave a thumbs down, you're going to have to like type a reason or something like that, so they make it so that you just don't do it for the sake of doing it and causing somebody's channel to go down. Or I don't know what it is, but I don't even know what happens when you get a thumbs up. Obviously. You're doing a great job, Ryan. Love your channel, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you. They can give me thumbs down because I don't give a yeah, I hear you. I'm the same way. Eric from EVH says, I look at thumb down as views. Okay. They can thumb down all they want. They are still watching even though they hate. I'll take their views. Yeah, and I don't even know if YouTube counts a view. Like if somebody goes into your channel and watches a video for 10 seconds, is that a view? Or does it have to be past a certain amount of time before it registers as a view? Because sometimes I think people just go in and thumbs down somebody because they just don't like you. Like for some reason they have an issue, and they just, every time they see you go live, they might just go to your channel, thumbs down, and they're out. They don't even watch the video. So I wonder if that even counts as a view. It could. Could. Poonin just says, you seem to be very comfortable and personable on cam. I'll check with Hack to see if you're nervous, Nelly, in person. No, I'm not very nervous in person or anything. I'm not nervous. Now I'm not that nervous on camera, to believe it or not. But if you look at my first streams, I'm definitely different than what I am today. But I never feel like super comfortable in front of a camera. But now I'm getting more comfortable doing it. It doesn't affect me as much. I guess the more you do something, and that's one of the reasons I'm doing a lot more live streaming and stuff. It's not just to become better at live streaming. It's to become better in communications wise in general, like in real life and business and stuff like that. I find that this stuff is actually helping me in that regards, because I wasn't, when you're more of a tech or something, you're working behind the scenes and putting all that stuff. You're not really, up front and talking with all the actors or all the producers. You talk a little bit with these people, but most part you're just doing your thing, and they just trust it, you know what you're doing, and they stay out of your way. So they bugged me for 2 years. I tried to find back, it was useless, so I'm not sure. Oh, you might be talking about trolls or something. All right, Scott DeFook, you've got to go. No problem. Yeah, I should be getting off here. I'll give it another, I'll go till midnight. What the heck? We've been on already for, I think, I'll go to, I'm 1 hour 51 minutes, so I might as well go a full 2 hours and complete the cycle, right? And then I'll call it a night. But if some of you have to go, by all means, go. Poonin just says thumbs up or thumbs down count as a bit, but it's minutes watched that count the most. Okay. EVH says, trust me, trolls will watch more than 2 seconds. They will stay, bite their nails, cuss and scream. They stick around. They want to leave, but they don't really. Yeah, it's just a weird phenomenon with all this, people hating on people and stuff. I just don't get it. I think it has something to do more with them than you or whoever they're trolling, because everybody, I think everybody that is doing that type of thing or whatever might have other issues in life that they're dealing with, and that's one way that they get through life, is putting other people down makes them feel better, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, so I can't really explain the mental aspect of it, but I can only assume that might be something, that they're not very happy with their own lives and they're finding ways to, it's like when you watch if somebody's not happy with their life and they watch a TV show and they see, or a talk show or somebody, and they see some crazy person on there and their life is completely screwed up compared to theirs. Well, theirs doesn't look so bad, so they kind of, I think it's more of that kind of phenomenon with a lot of this stuff that's going on online with trolls and things. So Pooh Ninja says, I watch a lot of stuff 2x, so my speech pattern is being affected. Yeah, you're probably speeding up when you're talking, right? Sorry you have to put up with trolls in the first place, Eric. Yeah, no, I agree, Eric, man. Eric does some great content and stuff, and he's not, I don't know why people would be, picking on you for anything. So, but, and it has to do with success as well, right? When a channel or somebody becomes a little bit successful, people that are not, or that feel that they should be, or feel better in a way, they feel justified in doing stuff like that, or feel like, why is this guy getting 100 people in his chat and I get 2 or whatever? I'm going to go on his channel and I'm going to cause crap because they feel jealous or something. So I think you get a lot of that type of stuff too. But what they should be doing is just concentrating on their own things, and if they're not successful the way that they want to be successful, then they need to work harder and find out why they're not, and focus on their energy on that stuff instead of focusing their energy on trying to bring somebody who is successful or who is providing good content, going after them. To me, it's a lot of wasted energy on that person's behalf. But what can you do? Scott Connor, I get this mental image of nocturnal butterfly hitting trolls over the head, whack-a-mole style. Yeah, I agree. A nice break from a daily grind and no hold barred. Yeah, that's Nocturnal's. I like listening to Nocturnal's. She crashed about 90 minutes ago. Okay. Yeah, she does a live stream I think it's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the morning, and I like listening to it because if I'm at work or something, I just put it on my phone next to me, and it's always funny. I like it. Comes with the territory. I smile and wave and play guitar. Yeah, that's all you can do, man, Eric. Just do your thing, and if you can't focus on that stuff, otherwise you're just not going to grow your own content and get better and reach your goals if you're concentrating on stuff like that. So that's why I just do my thing, and people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't, and there's no hard feelings. Like I said, I'm not doing this for a living. I'm just having fun. Terry says it's really what it is. People who don't have a happy life gotta make people's lives worse than others. Mental issues making them want to put people down. Yeah. I'm not a troll, but I do go to the spam filter a lot. Rick Effner is in bed. Okay, oh, you're talking to Eric? Okay, cool. Jealousy is a big motivator for some of the trolls. Yeah. And it's like that in real life too. It's not just online, I think. There's people out there that really, if they don't have their shit together or whatever, and they see somebody who does, you know, they're going to feel jealous, and they're going to feel, well, why is this happening to them and not to me? And instead of them focusing on themselves and not the other person, they're just not going to go anywhere. Okay, so we've got another 10 minutes. If you got any questions, if you got anything, Bobby Kipler, what's going on? If you got anything you want to discuss, put it in the chat and we'll try to get through it. Like I said, 10 minutes is going to go by pretty fast. So we've been going for almost 2 hours. I'm going to go for 2 hours here, and we'll stop and call it a night. EVH says, killer stream tonight. If it weren't for laundry, I would have caught it. So thank goodness for laundry. Oh, you wouldn't have caught it if it wasn't. Yeah, see? You got to do laundry more often, Eric. Yeah, that's all cool, man. Not the words I expected to hear. Thank goodness for laundry. Good point. Good point, Scott Connor. So let's hear a little bit more of this Marshall pedal. So that's that pedal and that Mesa clean channel. So I'm really liking it, actually. And that's the only reason I want to try some other ones is I want to compare them. I want to see if something else would be better, or like, I don't know. I'm just that way, I guess. I like to try a few different things before I settle in on one option. But that little pedal is really good. And for, I think it was $65 plus tax that I paid for that pedal. So it's amazing. It's an amazing little pedal, and it's got tons of gain, man. When I was talking to Guitar Hack, when I was trying to pick the pedal, he was telling me that exact thing, that you can get blues or metal with that pedal. It does it all, and it does. Terry says you're correct. Things that would be normally left in the offline world brought online now. Exactly. Let me go back down here. And make a song called Dirty Laundry. I think that's been done. Yeah. Vince Wiener says, great show, Brian. Thanks for the hangout gang. Yeah, thanks, Vince. Thanks for jumping in. Again, this wasn't a planned thing, but hey, it worked out. You know, I kind of like to do that once in a while, just, you know, an unscheduled, unplanned thing, and just jump on and see what happens, right? And it just gives me a little bit more experience in front of the camera. It gives me a little bit more time to run through the setups and run through my stuff here to make sure everything is working properly and the computer doesn't crash. We're all good. So it's not the computer that I'm worried about crashing. It's just the software that I'm using for the live stream. It's okay, but I think it's it's one of those things that's better on a PC, and I don't say that very often. When it comes to software and operating systems, I'm more of a Mac guy, and I use primarily Apple stuff because of the video editing and audio editing that I do. Those programs are the best. When it comes to live streaming, PCs are definitely better, in my opinion. So this is a solution that I found that works well with Mac, but it does have issues sometimes. So it's good to run through a good stream that I've done tonight, which we've been going now just over 2 hours, which we'll be stopping in the next 5 minutes. I'm going to go 5 minutes to get to midnight, but it hasn't crashed, so that's a good sign. But in my opinion, I think that the current environment that we're in with PCs and Macs, when it comes to live streaming, I think the PC world has the Mac beat. And the only reason I say that, it's not that the Mac isn't a computer that's very powerful, it's that it locks down a lot of the things in it. So software companies that release software specifically like live streaming, it has to leverage your video card and your processor in certain ways, and Apple it locks down their processors and their video cards to not allow those processes to be used up by these resources that the software needs. And that's why, that's the only reason why I say that the PC world is much better equipped to run live streaming software and live streaming setups right now. That's the issue. Because I have a powerful computer here with even an extra, like 2 graphic cards that are offloaded, and when I'm doing graphics or I'm doing video editing and stuff like that, it takes advantage of all that stuff. But for some reason, the live streaming software, Apple is not letting it use those resources, and so you get what you get. So there's a little tech lesson if you're into computer talk. I can tell you a little bit about that stuff once in a while to blend in with the guitar talk. How's that? Makes things a little bit more, I guess, more variety in your evening. How's that? Scott Connor, those strap locks rock. No mods to your guitar at all. I'm not sure which strap locks I use. The strap locks I use are these Ernie Ball ones. They just kind of, see, they just, I don't know if you can see that there, but there's just like a little pin that's not even, and then to release it, you just release it that way, and there's no, it's not a horseshoe type of thing like the Shalers or whatever, and it just kind of snap right in there, and then they don't go anywhere. So I have got those on all my guitars now, the Ernie Ball ones. Yeah, okay, everything's going good here. And EVH says, I'm 100% Mac for streaming, love it. Yeah, and I mean, you can do it, there's no problem. It's just that there are better software out there like vMix and things like that, but they only run on Windows. And even the software that I'm using here, which is Wirecast, it's running fine here, but it runs better on a Windows machine because it can leverage the graphic cards a lot better than it can on the Mac for some reason. And at work, I use the full TriCaster systems and stuff, which are like industry standard for broadcast and live streaming, and all those are built on Windows 10 machines. So it's just a fact. But it's not that you can't do it with a Mac. It's just that you're limited to what you can use. Like OBS and stuff will run fine on a Mac, but it's not like, there's a lot of other options out there that are way more powerful than that stuff that you would have access to if you were running a PC. And I'm like you, I run a Mac, I don't have a PC. But if I did, if I wanted to really get, run some of these higher end software packages and I wanted to do that, right now I have no need for it because I'm just doing this for fun and at home and stuff, and this is completely fine. But if let's say I had some reason I want to do some special thing or whatever, and I wanted to have all kinds of features, and I would probably just buy a small PC, really powerful one, and just use it for streaming only. And that would be an option as well. Strap light, no mods. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with those. Cool. OBS is totally safe. I have OBS, it's fine. Yeah, yeah, OBS runs fine, but it's an open source, sorry, I can't speak, it's getting late, software. So, you know, I'm sure that there's always options being added and things like that. But if you'd see some of the software that I run at like industry standard stuff, it's like night and day different, what you can do and how, you know, smooth and things run, and setting up really complex shots and bringing in all kinds of like you can do that with this stuff, and it's really taxing on your computers, that where that stuff is designed not to be, and it's designed to be a lot more efficient. And when you're running streams that are people are paying to go watch, or educational content and stuff, you have to have a system in place that has, like, you know, redundant backups and very efficient workflows and things like that, where these things are just hobbyist type of things, and they're not the same ball game at all. So that's all I'm saying when it comes to using software or OBS or any of the streaming software, and what systems they work best on. There's another software now that's come out that a lot of people seem to be liking. It's called Ecamm, and it's you download it online, but you have to pay for it, obviously. I can't remember how much it is, but it's pretty flexible. A lot of people are using it, and it's, you know, looks like it's pretty good. I've never tried it. I've seen the reviews on it and stuff, and a lot of people seem to like it. So Ecamm is another one that you might want to look at if you're looking into this stuff. All right, Eric, looks like Eric's running out. Cool. We will talk to you soon. And yeah, that stuff you're running, Brian, sorry, it's probably like high core count, and yeah, exactly, they're Xeon processors and stuff that run it. I need to get away from Movie Maker. Yeah, I haven't used Movie Maker in many years. I use Final Cut. If you have a Mac, that's what you should be using. Later, Zach. All right, guys, it's 12. I'm going to call it. I'd like to say thank you to everybody, and hopefully you guys had some fun and some good discussion tonight, which is the goal when we're doing these types of things. I will probably do a test tomorrow going live to Facebook, so if any of you are on my in Facebook and are my friends list or whatever, you might see that, and you're more than welcome to jump in. I'm not going to do a very long one, probably like a half hour or something like that, just to test out the template setup here that I have that's geared for Facebook, because I had to redo all this setup, so I want to make sure everything's working. And then I will be off to Vegas, and I will try to do some stuff while I'm there. I'll try to go live from there if I can. If I can't, then I will definitely record some footage and do some videos and upload them while I'm there, so you guys can see some of that stuff that's going on at that conference and that show. It's an awesome show. It's insane, some of the stuff you see there. So I'll try to capture some of that. And yeah, like I said, if I can go live, I will. And if I go to any cool guitar shops and things like, you know, I'll take some pictures and some video of that stuff and show you guys that. And yeah, that's it. So if you have any questions or anything for me, feel free to send me a message or through YouTube or anything through Facebook, and I always get back to people super quick. So it's all good. It's all good. All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight, and we will catch you next time. Yeah, that's it. So play a lot of this thing if you can. That's what it's all about. And enjoy your weekend, and rock on. All right.